Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me not so proud to present Kamen Rider Gacha, episode 46. Guys, this episode is really bad, and I will tell you why as I go through the scenes, but my god, This is supposed to be the lead up to this eventual fight between Spanner versus Hotaro, but we all know what's going to happen there because Spanner, I hate saying this, but he is a loser. He's been constantly losing, and this is no different. And there's some things in this episode that made me want to just take a step back and question, okay, why is this happening? How did so-and-so manage to find the keys to the Alchemy school? How did they get in? How did they find it? It's just a lot of things don't make any sense. And you would think that Fuga should be in this episode after everything that's going down right now. It's just like these writers suck. And I will explain once I get into the scenes. So without further ado, let us start with Banjo 2.0. And he is doing a show live, and he is exposing the Alchemy world. He is exposing the Kamen Riders, the Melgaims, the Chemies. He's exposing everything that led up to this point. He's exposing a year's worth of a war within a year. And as he is saying this in front of the entire world, in the Alchemy school that only has 4 students and 1 lousy teacher, everybody is watching this, and Midori Sensei knows that there's no way to use the thing on everybody, and he is wondering why and how is this happening. Why is his spell is like it doesn't work anymore. It's unsealing their memories. And here comes Professor Kyoka, and she explains that it's due to the dark particles that fell in the sky, and the people who were affected by these spores got their memories back. And who is responsible? Gaelijah. So yeah, there's no way to undo this. It's done. It's over. And Hotaro was like, yeah, I wanted to take things slow. Like, I know that we have to expose the truth in order to create this utopia, but I didn't expect it to go this fast. But even Hotaro knows that it will take time for humanity to accept Chemies. He knows this. He's not that stupid. But he's like, oh, my plans have been... It's not... It's starting rocky right now. And you have poor Hopper 1 and our Blue Dragon. They are growing concerned, and they're scared about this. But Hotaro reassures them that everything's going to be okay. I will fix this. Don't worry about it. Everything will work out fine. But it doesn't, because we go to the next scene. Hotaro and Kuro are going somewhere, and they get ambushed by a bunch of thugs. And the leader of this gang calls them by their names and demands the Chemies to be handed over to him. And then we move on to Spanner, who he does nothing but overlooks this crowd of people getting their memories back, and he is just not doing anything, and he is like, oh, this is what I fear coming to pass. Like, he has that serious look on his face, like, yeah, this is what I feared. So we move on from Spanner to Hotaro being beat up like a rag doll, and Hotaro is asking them, why do you want the Chemies? Why do you want to become Melgaims? The main reason why is because Chemies, to them, are a source of power. And Hotaro, turning from a rag doll to a Karate Kid, he's like, Chemies are not just about power. There are living beings just like us, and I refuse to fork over the Chemies to the likes of you. He just pushes the thugs and just super kicks them off the bridge. And apparently he becomes a great fighter when you're talking smack about the Chemies. I'm like, really, Hotaro? But that's what you expect from him. But then his victory has been cut short because all of a sudden you hear in the background that, yes, they're right. Chemies are a source of power. And this mysterious stranger throws Hotaro like a piece of garbage into a pile of garbage. How ironic, because in my personal opinion, Hotaro is one of the worst main characters of all time. And that's just saying something. And to be thrown like a piece of garbage to a pile of garbage, it's just poetic justice. My God. And once Hotaro comes to, he sees the wrestler, the heel wrestler from the wrestler episode from Gaichar's past appears, and Kudo is like, wait a minute, are you supposed to be in jail? Why are you out? Well, he doesn't really said this, but he says, well, I just got out from jail and I'm here to get my revenge on Hotaro. And he turns into his old Melgaim form and decides to go after Hotaro. And he transforms into Rainbow Gacha, and he summons his wrestler form. So it became a 2-on-1 handicap match. And then Gaelijah appears out of nowhere, and she's like, she had the audacity to tell Hotaro, like, hey, you're supposed to be the hero. It shouldn't be a 2-on-1 handicap match. You're a Kamen Rider. You're supposed to be the good guy. So she all of a sudden decides to turn the match into a neutral battleground by stealing one of Hotaro's cards right away. And she uses one of the cards to transform the leader of this particular gang that beat up Hotaro that first time into a Melgaim. But this particular Melgaim just goes out of control and decides to throw poison on his own gang. That's how crazy he has become. And then it became a 2-on-2 match, but then things get even worse for Hotaro because all of a sudden his wrestler form just dissolves. It disappears. And our beloved Blue Dragon explains that the rainbow form, the powers have limitations. If one of the cards are not present, like it needs to have all 101 Chemy cards in order to create forms and to stay. If not, we get this result. This the wrestler form, for example, disappears because one of the cards got stolen. And it's just one of those major flaws of this suit. And I wish Hotaro was like, oh, I wish you could have told me about this earlier, much earlier, but okay, that's fine. I don't need my copies to fight my battles. I can do it myself. And then, of course, you have Kudo, of course. You have Kudo, and she transforms and everything being back to a 2-on-2 match. You have Weird Sister number 1, who's been played by a 10-year-old watching this fight on. And then all of a sudden, Gaelijah decides to give something to Kudo. She doesn't know what it is. She asks Gaelijah, and obviously she's not going to give the answer, but it will ruin the surprise, so I'm not going to tell you. But in any case, the Riders managed to defeat the Melgaims, but they retreated. And then Gaelijah does a prophecy, and it reads that in the midst of chaos, a life will be lost. All thanks to your love of Chemies. It's due to the Chemies that this particular life is lost. And she goes away, and Hotaro does this angry look on his face. He growls, like, you really think that's going to happen? No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be my children's fault. The Chemy's it's not going to be the fault. This person, this life is going to live. Mother Hotaro likes to come out to play when it comes to defending the Chemys. So we move on to Kudo and Weird Sister number 1. Kudo goes after Weird Sister number 1, and they have a brief talk. And Kudo warns number 1 that you cannot trust Grayon because he's going to hurt you. And she knows this. Like, she has this feeling that she's going to get hurt because of this man. But of course, Weird Sister number 1, who's been played by a 10-year-old, refused to listen to this nonsense because, again, she sees Grayon as her father, so there's no way that her father will ever hurt her. We'll see. I mean, we have 4 episodes to find out, but I get this feeling that she's going to get her heart broken. So she tells Kudo off, you don't know what you're talking about, and everything's going to be fine, you don't know me, whatever. So she goes back home, and she meets up with Master Grayon, and this entire scene was about, it's another father-daughter bonding moment. Only this time, Grayon decides to read to Weird Sister number 1, and he decides to read the very same book that Fuga read to his daughter years ago. And what is even more strange is that Grayon was there when Fuga was reading to Kudo that very same book. So, yeah, what's going on there? So you see Grayon reading to Weird Sister number 1, and that's all that remains of them because we never see them again in this episode. So they have their bonding moment, and then we move on to Midoro Sensei. So we go back to the Alchemy school that only has 4 students and 1 lousy teacher, and he gives word that the Alchemy Association packed their bags with their tail between their legs, and they ran away like cowards. They're gone. They figured, well, they can't fix the problem, so they up and left. I was bursting out laughing when that happened because, oh my god, I thought that not Midoro Sensei, I thought that Mama-san was the most useless character in the entire show. No, I was proven wrong. Well, they're kind of neck and neck now because you have Mama-san and now the Alchemy Association. And here I thought that those group of men were the final boss, but no, they're not. These characters are so useless. They just stood there and watched and did nothing. And just to have a brief recap, the Alchemy Association were the ones that sent down these 2 inspectors that turned out to be bad guys, and Midoro Sensei, for how many times? So many times he has approached them for their help because of Master Grayon and some other problems that needed the Alchemy Association's help, but they refused to do anything. They were on their own, And when Greyon came in, like I said before, the Alchemy Association refused to help. And when Greyon was first defeated, the Alchemy Association had the nerve, the gall, to give him a video recording telling everybody from the Alliance, hey, we didn't know that Master Greyon was a bad guy. We apologize. But you know what? Everything is fine because you guys handled the problem beautifully. So we thank you on behalf of the Alchemy Association. And please remember to collect all the Chemy cards. Johnny! There was literally nothing but a thank you and an apology. And then once the mission was completed and all the Chemy cards were collected, once again they had the gall to come to appear on this iPad and tell the Alliance that thank you so much, you have done your task. Now it's time for you to turn in the cards. Thank you for your hard work. I don't understand why the writers added the Alchemy Association. They did nothing. And just to add in too, when Gigis invaded their offices, they were scared. They didn't do anything. It's just, oh my God, it makes sense for them to run, but Jesus, it's just, oh, what an opportunity going down the toilet. Anyways, so after that summary, that rough summary, again, Minato Sensei tells his students that, hey, the Alchemy Association ran away like cowards, so once again, we're on our own to deal with this problem. Yeah, and then here comes Kudo and a beaten up Hotaro, and they're telling their side of the story of what happened, and then Spanner comes in, and obviously Spanner, deep down inside, he wants to say I told you so, but his face, like, it didn't require to say I told you so because his face and his body is like, yeah, I'm like, I told you so. But anyways, he asks Hotaro, like, do you still believe in this utopia of yours? Because look what's going on. And Hotaro's like, yeah, I still believe of this utopia. And everybody, for the most part, is still on board with this utopia thing. And this is where I want to explain that this is more about a fight between ideals, because both of them are right. Spanner is looking at this with his mind, while Hotaro is looking at this with his heart. And right now, this entire episode is pretty much an I told you so episode, because everything that Spanner has feared is coming to pass. You see all these people hunting down Chemies and end up turning into Malgons, which it hasn't happened yet, but you see these people hunting down Chemies for selfish reasons. They're going to use them as tools, a shortcut to power. And it's turning the city into chaos. And that's something that Spanner was trying to prevent from happening. And Hotaro doesn't see it that way. He sees the good in everybody. Again, he's thinking through his heart instead of his head. And regardless of what happens, it's not going to derail him from trying to create this utopia between humans and alchemies, well, alchemists too, but chemies alike. And this is where Spanner was like, look, how are you going to deal with the government? Like, for one thing, humanity needs to accept the chemies as part of their own society, okay? how is society willing to accept these creatures? There are some who are willing to accept what others won't. And there are going to be some that they were going to hunt Chemies down for the sake of power. And Amalgames will be born. And then, let's say humanity does accept them, there's still the matter of the government getting involved. And you know what happens when government gets involved. And then the entire world will know about these chemies, these alchemists, everything. Every country will be eyeing Japan. So it's just all these things that you need to keep in mind of, but Hotaro doesn't see it the way Spanner is looking at this. Again, he's looking at this through his heart, but he doesn't look at it in a bigger picture, but he knows that it will take time. But this is just a battle of ideals. And so everybody except for Spanner is still on board. But then all of a sudden you have Banjo 2.0 once again on the television screens. Only this time you have all the pictures of the alchemists and their names. And I think it's just their names, but not their personal information. Which I forgot to mention too in the beginning, that how did Banjo 2.0 get his hands on footage that happened during the year? How did he get his hands on it? I don't know if I said this before, but I do apologize if I did mention this before. But this is once again, like, these are questions that I'm asking myself, like, how did this man get his hands on this important footage? How? Who gave it to him? And it's just why? And how did he get these pictures of the alchemists? And then here comes another thing that I starting to question is, how in the hell did he find the location of the alchemy school, and how did he get in? Like, he needs to have a ring of power in order to get inside the school. It's supposed to be well hidden, and yet this guy and a bunch of TMZ rejects was able to find it and get inside so easily. It doesn't make any sense. It should be protected. But in this episode, in this case, it's not. So Banjo 2.0 and his bunch of TMZ rejects burst inside the classroom, and they're acting like paparazzi. And they're ganging up on these poor kids. Hotaro is trying to protect, his chemies, trying to hide them, while the kids are they're confused. They don't know what to do, except that, hey, you're not allowed to take pictures, go away. And you have Minato Sensei telling the same thing, and then you have Banjo 2.0 asking questions, and of course Minato Sensei say, go away, no comment. And all of a sudden Banjo 2.0 is trying to provoke a fight. And Minato Sensei is smart because he knows that this thing is live. And if he ends up fighting these people, then the problem will multiply by 10. It's going to get worse. So he's trying his best to solve this problem without resorting into a fist fight. But you don't know with these people. They're trying to do anything to get a gotcha, to provoke a fight. It's crazy. But during this mess, Spanner decides that, hey, I need to check up on Professor Kyoka, so goodbye. He just ditches him. Like, wow, Spanner, like, come on. Like, Minato Sensei is supposed to be your colleague, your friend, and I'm sure you don't like the kids, especially Hotaro, but come on, you can't just leave him to rot. But okay, Spanner, alright, fine. So he goes on the road to Professor Kyoka's laboratories, but he stops midway because he spots a group of people and this little girl crying, and he stops and just trying to find out, okay, what the hell is going on here? Like, what the hell? And apparently, according to this woman, this little girl had a Chemy, and I just took it away from her, even though she claims that this girl gave the Chemy to her, but I don't believe that whatsoever. And Spanner talks to the girl like, is this true? Is that what she's holding is a Chemy? And she explains that that's not a Chemy, that's just a plushie of a Chemy. That's Hopper 1 plushie. And the woman's like, wait, is this a plushie? Not a Chemy? No, it's not a Chemy. And there's like 4 people as well surrounding her. It looked like they were trying to steal the Chemy away from her. It's starting. Yeah, the chaos is brewing, and Spanner's like, "Okay, guys, you need to go. That's not a Chemy. Just get out of here." And the woman drops the plushie, and the group just goes away. So, yeah, Spanner picks it up, gives it to the girl, and obviously Spanner is like, oh, God. I mean, these people, it's just, these percentage of people is what killing Hotaro's dream of having this utopia, because these type of people exist. I don't know how Hotaro's gonna handle this, to be honest. Talking to them may not work, especially with those type of people. But anyways, I digress. So he goes to the laboratory and he gets a rude awakening, because as he goes inside the office, everything is destroyed. You see everything is a wreck, papers on the floor, everything, as if a tornado hit in that room. And number 2 gets spooked by Spanner, and Spanner was like, what the hell happened here? And then Kyoka just comes out, and you see her, she looks like she got beat up, and she is cut, and she was a mess. But she just like, no, everything's cool, it's just an experiment gone wrong. But number 2 explained, like, no, that's not it. Apparently a mob stormed inside the laboratory, and I assume that, well, she assumes that the reason why they came was because they assumed that there are Chemy cards here, but it wasn't the case. So instead, the room gets trashed, and they leave. They left as soon as they trashed the place. And number 2 wanted to protect Kyoka, but she was forbidden to do so. And this is where Spanner really was like, okay, that's it. I need to do something about it. And I will explain what he did, but it's not good. It's not good. And it makes sense too, because look, Kyoka in a way is Spanner's adopted mother. She raised him, and to see her like that, anybody will get mad. And so anyways, so long story short, we get into the next scene. The 2 Amalgams are causing chaos. One of them is throwing poison at people, while the other is beating up people. And the Alliance shows up. They split up. The Riders fight the Amalgams, and of course the non-Riders are out there saving people, taking them to safety. Hotaro turns into Platinum Gacha and ends up defeating them with one, rider kick. And so those 2 get defeated. The Chemy is rescued and recaptured. Everything should be great, but everything turns south the moment Spanner makes this announcement to everybody. So he ends up introducing himself, and he is apologizing to everybody who was affected by this chaos, by all things alchemy, I apologize for the events that happened. And I am hereby telling you that I am the overseer of all alchemy. The Alchemy Association is no more, and I'm the guy in charge. So I am the overseer. And when it comes to the Chemies and to the malice, that's what he said, they will be destroyed. This is where everybody in the alliance, including especially Hotaro, was like, what the hell did he just say? Like, why is Spanner even doing this? And mind you, he came out wearing this black uniform, the same uniform that Miroto Sensei wears, and he just announced to the world that, hey, I am the head honcho now, and my word is law. And I'm doing this to protect you guys in the world from malice and especially the Chemies. And then once he makes this announcement, he immediately calls Hotaro, and he tells Hotaro, I'm giving you I'm giving you my location. You have to be there and turn in all your Chemy cards to me. If you don't, I will take them by force. Hotaro didn't get a chance to say a word to him because he hung up on him. Now, here's the thing. Hotaro could have just said to Spanner immediately, to hell with that. I'm not gonna go to your location and hand over my cards to you. You want them? Come get me. You know where I'm gonna be at. Screw you. But Hotaro is not like that. Unfortunately, he's not gonna give Spanner the middle finger and just say, you want them? Then come and get it. Obviously, the group is gonna go to his location and get the cards stolen. It's yeah, I know. It's in the script. I wish Hotaro will have the set to give Spanner screw you, but he's not. Anyways, we get to Gaelijah. She is laughing her ass off because her prophecy came true. Spanner was the lost soul, and due to the Chemies and what happened today, he turned to the dark side. He made a heel turn. And then you have Gegist, who finally came out from the character closet and spies on Gaelijah. And then we go back to Spanner with a random group of men that just came out of nowhere. I mean, they've been there, but I'm like, where are you guys been? Like, I thought that the only alchemist in the entire city was Miroto Sensei, Fuga, and the students. Yeah, like we all know our only alchemist club and who's in it. Why are you guys there? Anyways, one of them asked Spanner, like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you prepared to have this responsibility? And Spanner's like, I'm born ready. I was born ready. I am willing to take the responsibilities of becoming the overseer. I want to protect this world from evil and just protect the world, to protect the planet that my parents love. And you see all the purple flames coming out from him. And that's the end of the episode, guys. I don't know what to say. Really, it's just, again, how in the hell did Banjo 2.0 get his hands on a year's worth of footage of Melgheim attacks, writers, Chemies? How did he get his hands on them? More importantly, how did he get the location of the alchemy school and get inside one of the secret entrances? It doesn't make sense unless he is a fellow alchemist. That's the only logical explanation I can think of. Or Angelia found a way to get in there and be like, hey, you want to know where the location of the Alchemy school is at? I will show you. But it's never going to be explained. And anyways, another question that it just popped out of my brain is that when the Alliance showed up, what happened to the paparazzi? Did Midoro Sensei manage to kick them out, or are they still in the classroom? Oh, I mean, I guess we'll find out next episode, but I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get that answer to that either. But my God, guys, it's just the battle of ideals should have happened much earlier, because the writers are cutting it way too close. When you only have 4 episodes left, it's gonna be rushed, and we all know that the victor will be Hotaro. It's just Spanner has so many L's. It's just like, okay, we know he's gonna lose, so what's the whole point? And is he gonna get a new form? Because I heard that supposedly Kudo and Spanner's gonna get new forms, but I get this feeling that it may happen the episode after. I believe episode 48, that we're gonna get a new form from either Kudo or Spanner. But oh god, it's just Spanner had every opportunity to turn heel when Gegis offered him a chance to join him and learn the ways of the Purple Flame, but he said no. And I wish Spanner could have developed some sort of jealousy towards Hotaro, because let's just call it, Spanner is supposedly one of the elite alchemists, according to him, while you have Hotaro, who doesn't know a damn thing about alchemy, and yet he is, way up there. And Spanner, I mean, Hotaro has been constantly winning, while Spanner is not getting anything except L's. What the hell? Like, those are reasons to turn heel and be like I'm joining the enemy because I can't stand losing to Hotaro. I keep losing to him. The enemy keeps spinning me up even after I've attained the title of Kamen Rider. Nothing is going my way, and I have this Abyss Alice King who is willing to help me harness the power of my Purple Flame. I want to get stronger. I can't be stronger with being team up with you guys, especially when you have Hotaro, who believes in this utopia between humanity and and Chemies living together and all that stuff. It goes against his beliefs, and to have them fight as enemies, and Hotaro will be like, look, I want to save you, and also I want to convince you that it is possible that humans and Chemies alike can coexist. Please let me help you and let me convince you. But we're not going to have that, because we're going to have that in the next episode and everything's going to be rushed. But, it is what it is on that. It's just this episode, it has a lot of plot holes and this sudden heel turn, which I get it. Kyoka was beaten up by these people, and Spanner's like, I told Hotaro that this can never happen. Look at the result. The alchemy world is exposed, and look at this. People are trying to hunt these kids down for their chemies, and there's a possibility that Melgaims will be on the rise. Everything that he said is true, but the way he's going to do it now, he's going to turn heel, and he's going to force everything, the entire world, to be in peace. In order to do so, he's gonna destroy the Chemies, and it's like Anakin Skywalker all over again, folks. It's like Anakin Skywalker. But anyways, in my personal opinion, I consider this episode to be caca's for various reasons that I just stated. However, I'm interested. What are your thoughts about this episode? Have you seen the episode? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? If I miss anything at all, just write in the comments below. Let us interact. We only have 4 episodes left, guys, until Gov. And, I want this show to be over because I really cannot stand this show. It has good moments, but ultimately this show is not really for me. It's driving me insane right now. And also I want to add this before I go. Where the hell is Fuga? Fuga is desperately needed in this episode because, my God, if you have Fuga, I'm sure that things will be a whole lot better, but he's not there. And of course, what's the whole point? What's the mystery behind Hotaro's father? Once again, there's no clues. There's no mentions about him. Nothing. Who gives a damn about the Philosopher's Stone? No one cares. Oh, God, this show is so frustrating. Anyways, give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And maybe, just maybe, I will see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Maybe. I'm barely making it because, guys, after the 4 episodes, I still have to do my character video and just an overall opinion of my thoughts on the whole show. Oh, it's not over for me yet, guys. It's not over. But anyways, Johnny.